Yeah, like in real life when they build cities. Yeah, like in Sim City. No, like in real life when they build cities.
So you know how in Stardew Valley when you run out of ore and you have to go back and grab some more?
So the Green
That's
Knight
what happened
gets
in
his head chopped
Wales in
off,
late
and he,
1800s.
Fine.
Yeah,
Shockingly, gets up, kicks his head, puts it back on, and says,
Why do you have more bird instincts than human instincts?
where you this bird
People
stuff
don't
Well,
like
look,
this film.
look,
According to Rotten
wait.
Tomatoes, not even the majority of people who watch this film like this film.
Let me lay it out. And
for
also,
you.
I found this fox.
Keep it so that people can get the full experience of that round trip
Nefarious
joke.
Dr. H. And Dr. H
Could have booped
is an
him on the
arsonist
nose.
at heart. And he doesn't want to burn something brand. He wants to burn something truly priceless. So he spends years building up his cred in the English
the Green
department.
Knight comes and boops him on the nose.
And he goes on this epic quest of chivalry to boop this guy in the nose. Why did we save this text for hundreds of years?
And this episode is going to center around The Green Knight, David Lowery's new film starring Dev Patel, and based off of the 14th century epic poem. Which surprises me how many people did not know that based off of the Rotten Tomatoes meter. So many reviews from the audience score. So the critics...
Well, once again,
Yeah.
I'm surprised that you're surprised, to be honest.
I guess my worldview is too limited in that sense.
I mean, this is a poem that, for a lot of centuries, I can say something kind of weird, like, kind of pretentious, like, well, it's closer to the Black Plague than it is to COVID-19. But in this case, it's by a margin of, like, between 0 and 30 years difference
It has been...
to the actual Black Death than to the coronavirus of today. So in this case, I can literally say the reason is a story that is closer to the Black Death, the Great Plague of Europe, very, very much closer to the plague than it is to now. You're surprised that no one knows it.
Well, I'm just surprised because we're closer to when The Green Knight was written than when The Green Knight... where was I going with this joke? We're closer to the Green Knight
This was a joke.
than the Green Knight is to the birth of Jesus. I don't know.
Oh, well,
Anyway, a lot of people,
yes, that's true.
critics love this film. I love this film. I really, really, really wanted to talk about this film because I loved it so much.
So what you're saying is, just to be clear,
Yeah.
is that there are people and there are critics. I like this film, said Ben. Therefore, I am not a human.
No, wait.
I am
hold
a
up.
critic.
Hold up. I want to emphasize, though, that I grew up on, like, The Lord of the Rings and other fantasy stories. So, like, The Green Knight, loving The Green Knight, the story itself, like the poem, when I read it in college, was not that far removed.
Wait, you love The Green Knight?
I loved reading The Green Knight. I think it's a great poem.
Oh, I think it's a weird poem. Spends far too much time in the hunting. It just drags and drags.
You would not be wrong with this one person on Rotten Tomatoes. Let me find this person who basically said,
The poem I'm talking about, just to be clear, in the film, they just... What even happens in the film? He kills this, like, dinosaur of a boar, and he's like, I guess I'm done. And also, I found this fox for you. Like, instead of going through, like, a whole bunch of days of killing a bunch of animals, we have, oh yeah, man, I killed a boar. This giant, 3 bison worth of a boar. And also I found this fox for you in this sack. Here it is. Dumps it out like it's
Well,
your least favorite child that you're punishing.
oh my god. You might be...
Like, in a very medieval way. I should be clear, not like in a normal human, in the Western
Krampus
world
way. A very Krampus
kind of a
sort of
Krampus way of it, yeah. Very, very medieval on his ass, yeah.
You might be sharing the same breed with a certain Ben T, who is not me. I just want to emphasize that their last name begins with a T, who gave this film...
Wow. You know, if I were writing a bad review and pretending not to be myself, you know what I would change? My last initial.
Actually, it's a great way because nobody would suspect it.
Everyone would suspect it.
On November 21st, 2021, Ben T.
If Mark T wrote, you know, Facebook isn't that evil. I really think it's a great company. You know who people would suspect wrote this comment?
I was trying to do a bit where I was just saying, like how you said that the original source material, this person, Ben T, said that this film was awful,
Yes.
much like its source material. Accidentally put an apostrophe in the its where it shouldn't be, but much like its source material is boring, bloated, too long, and makes no sense. So apparently you didn't like the
It's
tone as well.
possible. Isn't it possible that this person is referring to Stephen King's It?
It is possible. Well, no, because they didn't.
Apostrophe.
They didn't capitalize the
But here
I.
are options. Lack the capital letter, or doesn't know the difference between possessive and
Doesn't know the difference between apostrophe s and regular its. Possible. It is possible.
the contraction of it is versus possessive.
So I guess going back to something you said, where you said I should be surprised at how surprised I was that people don't like this film. According to Rotten Tomatoes, not even the majority of people who watch this film like this film.
Let me lay it out for you. So, when did this film come out? This year?
This film came out earlier this year, yes.
Okay, so I have no idea what this film was up against, so I'm not even going to try. But so you go to the film. You go to the Lion Cinema, right?
Sure.
It's a real great cinema, you know.
Popcorn. They gave you 2 squirts of popcorn butter.
Yeah.
Give you a free Skittles packet.
They think you're a robber. They can't tell the difference these days. The masks and everything. So they say, you say, okay, I'm looking for a film, right? What do you got? And they point, above them at the sign that has all the scrolling names of the films, and you look and you see, I don't know, you see The Lost Daughter, which sounds like a real drag. You see,
You see Free Guy. You see Don't Breathe 2.
Free Guy. Free Guy sounds
Raging
weird.
Fire. You see Evangelon 3.0. You see Monster Hunter Legends. What the hell are some of these films?
Yeah, like whatever, man. And then
You see Paw Patrol the movie.
yeah, and that's for children, right?
Yeah.
So you see
Just like the Suicide Squad, which also came out around this time.
which is a children's film, apparently, is what
Yes.
you're insinuating.
Yeah, it has polka dots. Did you hear?
Yeah, polka dot. Also Starfish.
Also, yeah, children love Starfish.
Yeah.
They love polka dots.
Yes.
They love Shark Boys.
They love people.
They love Shark Boys.
They love
these
people
days.
in costumes. I mean,
Yeah.
MCU is a big, big thing, right? Yeah, right?
Yeah, because the Suicide Squad is just like the MCU, right?
Yeah, actually. That's pretty much it. And interestingly, I don't even know what the suicide count is in Suicide Squad. It's actually extremely low, isn't it? Is it 0? Maybe it's 0.
Actual people who are
Actually committing suicide.
zero.
Actually trying to kill themselves.
It is.
I think it's basically
You could
0.
argue. You could argue one. I don't want to spoil it, but you could argue that.
Well, I did mention a
Harley's-
starfish already.
Okay, you know
I
what?
kind
then,
of
well,
have-
so the scene where Harley is going at the starfish with holes jumping in the air, 2 hands on the spear, and is trying to like stab the eye. You could argue that
very
because
Cyclops.
you kind of
Yes.
don't know
Odyssey
what's going to-
Cyclops,
right?
not other.
Because you have no
Cyclops.
idea how that's going to end. You kind of
that's
do
true.
that maneuver thinking that's probably your last big heroic action.
That's it's time to die. It's more like,
True.
I'm going to kill this thing and I'll go down with it if so necessary,
Yes.
Yeah. So actually they count maybe 0. I'm
I
not
think
sure.
okay.
Which is wild, right? I mean, of course, it's a manner of speaking, right? You sign away your right to be alive.
Are we going to
when you
talk
go
about
in
The
this.
Green Knight or not?
So Suicide Squad is a great film.
So you're going to the theater and you look up at the rolling bar of films and you
All
see
right,
these
so-
films and you say to yourself, "Hey, look, The Green Knight."
No. So the person's pointing up. You look at the scrolling
Hey,
marquee
kid,
electronic.
I've been here for 30 years.
Why is this person smoking?
This
Does the Simpsons Mo work at the cinema now? I bet
is
he
a lie
probably
at
has at
cinema.
some
We
point.
do what we want here.
Yeah, I
I've been
guess.
here for 30 years. They can't fire me. I'm a legend here at the Lion Cinema. Kid, I haven't seen anyone take this long picking out a film since I saw Clark Gable try to figure out whether he wants to see Singing in the Rain.
Oh. Well, you know what? I decided actually.
All right, a film.
I want to see that damn cool sounding film
What, like Paw Patrol?
yeah, no, it's like the Dark Knight, but it's not dark, it's green.
So you
the
want
Green Knight.
the night that's a little bit green.
Yeah.
right.
There's no qualifier. There's no the somewhat green knight.
Oh, the Green Knight. You want to see the Green Knight? Okay.
Yeah, the Green Knight. You know, that sounds cool because it has the word knight in it. Mm-hmm. Knight with a K. And
Yeah, I know what a knight is, kid.
no, I'm explaining it to myself in case I ever get asked about this
What?
in some
You
kind
can't-
of podcast or something. So knight is spelled with a K in this circumstance, and the green. I don't know what the Green Knight means. I don't know if it's based on anything. I don't care. No, it sounds good. It sounds good. It sounds cool, right? Because it's going to definitely be at least a few sword fights, right?
Oh, definitely. Bunch of knights.
Yeah.
Or one knight, I should say.
Yeah. There'll be some jousting, maybe, right?
Yeah, kind of like that Matt Damon film.
Yeah, like that Ridley film that no one watched, and neither did I. But you know, something like that. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I heard it's a Camelot story, King Arthur questing, all that good
Oh,
shit.
well, actually, that does sound good. You know,
Yeah.
Camelot, right? I mean, yeah, I've seen.
Quest for Camelot.
I may not have seen that film.
That Merlin TV series.
I've definitely seen the Merlin TV series.
Monty Python.
I have seen Monty Python. Well, that lacked a good deal of sword. Actually, there was that one very good sword fighting scene. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's basically a martial arts film, but with swords.
Yeah,
You know
and that's
what
what I think the Green Knight is going to be: is some kind of cool, film with cool things happening in it. Certainly not some
cool green things. Yeah,
yeah,
like hemp.
maybe, yeah. I mean, maybe he does pot. Maybe this is like Your Highness, right?
Maybe he's a Green Knight because he's a good gardener.
I mean-
Get it? A green thumb.
I mean, the main character is
Dev
is
Patel.
Dev Patel.
Yeah, the kid from
Dude.
the kid from Lion, like the Lion
Yeah.
Cinema.
Well-
I just made that connection now.
Well, what's he doing in England? He's Indian, right? So
Well, if we
he's-
want to be specific here, technically it's Wales.
Oh,
The Green
is
Knight
he-
takes place in Wales.
So King Arthur's Welsh.
No, but the King of the Britons, Anglo-Saxons, the UK. it's one
So
whole
he
thing.
lived in.
I know a lot
he
from
lived-
working 30
He lived
years
in
from
Wales.
at the Lion Cinema.
He lived in Wales. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, he traveled to Wales to go find the Green Knight's castle.
What are you talking about? I'm asking where Camelot is.
I thought you were talking about where Dev Patel, aka
You're telling
Sir
me that
Garrett
the
went
King
to.
of Britain moved founded Camelot in Wales.
I don't know where he did. Maybe you.
This is news to me. If this is the case.
Let me do some.
No. Let's just keep it mysterious.
Okay.
And all of Wales can blame you if
Well, I heard
if
that.
this is actually the case, and I just never knew.
I'm just going to throw Manchester. Like Manchester by the
think
sea,
it's-
Camelot by the sea,
Oh,
something like that.
That's reasonable, yeah. So, yeah, I think this film's gonna be,
Okay, so.
What are you doing? Why are you killing my bit?
Sorry.
We haven't even hit
So-
20 minutes of this bit yet.
Sometimes even though I'm a 60-year-old smoker,
60.
Sometimes
How long have you been? Your time gets weirder and weirder.
I said I've been
What
working here for
happened?
30 years. What are you
What
talking
happened
about?
when you were 40 then?
What happened when I was 40? Well, if I do the math right.
Or 30? I don't know. I wasn't listening to the math.
When I was
one.
30, Back to the Future came out.
Okay, what year is this?
It's 2021, kid. Look at the date. It's August 30th, 2021. The date. Wait, no, July 30th, 2021. The date. The Green Knight came out.
Oh, my mistake. I was under the impression it was a different
What day do you think it was?
I don't know, but apparently this is where I am. And oh boy, the Green Knight. This sounds fun.
You sure you don't want to do Paw Patrol? Last chance.
No, I definitely want to watch a film that seems to be entertaining, has King Arthur in it, right?
Yeah, it definitely has King Arthur.
So King Arthur, I'm imagining, will probably be, good looking, height of his prime.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe this will be a weird film, right? An anachronistic film, right?
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned, the main character is
The kid from
Dave
Life of Pi.
Patel. So he's subcontinental Indian, I believe. So maybe this is kind of Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
I almost said that Dev Patel's from Life of Pi. I'm racist. I meant Slumdog Millionaire.
He's from Life of Pi. That's him.
No, it's not. I meant Slumdog Millionaire.
Then why'd you? Are you saying that all Indian males look alike? In
I was thinking about Lion, and then I was like trying to make the connection of what other films has Dev Patel been in, and I went, oh, he's the one on the boat, right? And then I went, oh wait, no, he's not. He's definitely not. He's the kid sitting in the million. Anyway, kid, sometimes a 20-year-old voice comes out of me. I don't know where that comes from.
Okay. Well,
It's when the smoke in my lungs clears up.
Yeah. You should get that checked. One ticket for.
All right, here we go.
The Green Knight.
Get out of here.
Because
Show's gonna start
I'm
in like 30
expecting
seconds.
just to summarize one more time, even though the film's starting in 30 seconds. I want to summarize this for you. This film I'm expecting is some kind of Arthurian romp with random maybe colorblind casting. It'll probably be fun then, like that David Copperfield film was fun and random. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about, kid. It's July 30th, 2021,
Well,
where I am now.
I already said the marquee had the lost daughter on it, so there goes that time frame, but okay, sure.
Oh, we're living in a pocket dimension in 2021 where all the films that have come out this year have already come out.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, neat. All right, well, I'm going to go in now. I guess I should have gotten popcorn, but we've been doing this bit for so long, I guess there's no time.
And yet, just defying expectations, the film is not like that at all. It's
Oh, this film sucks, man.
wow. Well,
Oh, I do my bit still? I thought we were doing this bit for the here on out. This film womps, man.
it's time for you to sing this.
I mean, King Arthur wasn't great looking. He was old and weird.
So I guess one of the things that is interesting about the Green Knight that when talking about
are we ending the bit and I can
you can end the bit. I'm
I'm
ending the bit. I'm ending the bit right here, right now.
I like this film. I don't know about you, Mo, but I like this film.
What are you talking about? I love the film.
I thought you said the bit was ended here on out.
Sorry.
I thought we used the safe word, and now you continue. This is a breach of my contract.
All right, the Green Knight. For those who need a refresher, who don't remember, for myself, kind of needs to go through the plot. The basic story of the Green Knight is that on Christmas Day, a knight in all green apparel, right, kind of the forest, enters Camelot, enters King Arthur's round table, right, and he says, I have this challenge. Do unto me, kind of very Jesus-y, do unto me as I will do unto you, whatever, in a year's time. So what happens is Sir Gawain takes Excalibur and he chops off the knight's head. And then
does he take Excalibur itself? Doesn't he have its own sword? We're talking about the film.
The film is Excalibur. I would have to double check in the poem.
I think
it might just be Gawain's sword.
I don't know why he'd be lent.
Yeah.
Excalibur in the poem. I don't remember that happening.
So the original poem, all the knights are knightly. The point of the poem is about this chivalric tale, very Chaucerian. The idea of Gawain is going out into the world to kind of essentially literally make his own story, right? He's going to go on this adventure where after he's chopped off the knight's head, the knight, instead of being dead, promptly picks up his head and kind of in this ghostly speech says to Gawain, come find me at the Green Manor in a year's time, and I will then give you
The poem, right? We're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a year and a day. Yeah.
Yeah, I will give you what you have given me, essentially. It's the idea. So since Garin has chopped off his head, the implication is that in a year and a day's time, the Green Knight will chop off Gawain's head at the appointed place, being
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the whole poem is Gawain then traveling to, after a year's passed, Gawain traveling to the Green Knight's castle and then coming upon the Green Knight. And along the way, there are various, like, Odyssean kind of style-esque moral challenges that are testing his faith, testing his resolve, his courage, all these chivalric ideas of morality that Gawain has to kind of overcome and face until he gets to the Green Knight, where the Green Knight then promptly tells him to kneel, and twice he is about to chop off his head, but then because Gawain flinches, the Green Knight kind of rebukes him and says, "Did I flinch when I was getting my head chopped off?" And Gawain says, "No, sir. I'm not immortal like you."
And then the Green Knight kicked him savagely, and they got fired.
Please stop mentioning Urban Meyer in our stupid podcast. Please don't give him that credit. And then I hate you so much.
Anyways.
And then the Green Knight, on the thrice downward hack, does stop his blade and tells Gawain, "This has all been kind of it's a game. It's a Christmas game of sorts. I'm not actually going to chop off your head. This has all been to teach you a lesson, young man." And Gawain goes home.
What, you're talking about the poem still, right?
Yeah, from the poem.
Aren't you...
He
you're skipping a lot of material, but all right, very well.
I'm doing the speedrun version so then we can talk about
sorry.
the
Okay,
film itself.
I just felt like you were skipping an outrageous amount of material, like the giant reveal.
So then Gawain goes home and tells Arthur, who is in the prime of his life, right, all about his adventures, and they have a rousing, raucous Christmas party, and that's how the poem essentially
raucous, raging Christmas party.
It's a real banger.
One with Kate McKinnon and Moynihan. Yeah, it's a banging Christmas.
So when is Camelot and SNL yet? But anyway, the film takes a lot of liberties with that poem, which I think was really, really fun.
I think what's interesting about the Green Knight poem, very much so, is that it's like a comedy of manners, right? Mm-hmm. It reminds me of I think there's a word for it, but like Greek hospitality when you come to the Odyssey, right? How you go to I think it's the Cyclops, right? Mm-hmm. Where the very first thing they are is indignant that the Cyclops won't honor Greek hospitality, and then they're a little more indignant when he starts eating them. Like it kind of goes downhill fast. But when you get like the Green Knight poem, it's very similar, right, with the Lady of the Castle near the end, where she's violating all the rules of what makes a good host. Yeah, but he's pulling this kind of weird, like, wedding crashes problem where he's like, I need to be charitable to everything, but what the hell, lady?
At kind of almost every turn, the movie takes an opportunity to deviate from what the text of the poem is. So, like, for example, Arthur is well past his prime in the film. Right? In the film, they make Morgana, who summons the Green Knight in the poem. In the film, Morgana is actually Gawain's mother and summons...
Oh, she's literally Morgana?
She's literally Morgana.
She says Morgana?
They don't actually explicitly say it.
Oh, I mean, she's clearly a witch.
Right.
I mean, she's a witch,
and if this isn't clear to everyone by now, The Green Knight is not a film for everyone, right? Like,
what?
If you're...
I thought the thing I was doing made that clear it was...
But if you haven't read The Green Knight or are not into medieval stories or things like that, or even just moralistic fables, like even like Aesop's fables, you will not like this film at all. Because that's what the film is. It's a slow burn, moralistic, modern fable. And, so the film kind of is made with the assumption that you have read The Green Knight, or at least know what The Green Knight, Sir Gawain the Green Knight is.
I think so.
Because like
Well,
Morgana
that's
isn't mentioned. You have to go watch the credits or read the Wikipedia to
she is
realize
actually
that
Morgana. Okay.
Morgana Le Fay is literally Gawain's mother.
Okay.
Because in the film, it's just presented as Gawain's mother, who is very concerned about her son, who spends his Christmases in whorehouses and seems to have no ambitions in life. So.
Yeah. You know what I think goes on in that film is basically the equivalent of when they've blown this already. This can't happen. But I want to see some version of a film where the mom is sick of her children being little brats, right? They won't do. I don't know how old they are, but maybe they're younger than
Okay.
that, right? But they're just they're just incorrigible little shits, right? Terrible little children, right? Or teenagers, whatever.
Isn't that
And so
every
she
parent's
decides-
life?
Yes, but she decides she's going to make adults of them, right? And she's going to give them the best rite of passage ever imaginable. She willingly fishes out of the board, the game, the closet of games, Jumanji, that she's had lying around for years, and she gives it to them and leaves the city on vacation for like a year. Not a year. It hopefully won't take them that long. It could actually be years, but for a few days, right? Literally gets out of town so she won't have a problem with like the rhinos killing her, right?
You're good.
And she leaves, or maybe she and her husband or
So Kristen Dunst is all
they
grown.
are.
So in this version, Kristen Dunst is all
Yeah, for
grown up,
instance.
and this has been 30 years, and now she's
Yeah,
married
for
with
instance,
kids.
yes.
And she's like, you know what? I'm gonna give my kids Jumanji.
Yeah, because they're being terrible people, and she thinks that'll fix them, right? I think that'd be a great premise. But like the board game version, not the video game version, which is fun, but this is different.
To teach them to grow up a little bit.
Yeah, I think that'd be hilarious because most of these versions, what it is they stumble upon it because there's a sort of, I think the metaphor is something wild about children's hearts, something like that, right? And it calls to them, so to speak, right?
Well, that is very like medieval in the concept though, because the idea of a lot of medieval stories is that you have to grow up almost forcibly. You have to have some sort of event, some spark that happens that makes you face who you are supposed to be.
That's it's very medieval in a certain sense, but actually what it is, I think, is something basic about human kind, that we're supposed to have sort of these things in place that you are forcibly matured by, right?
Well, I think
And the last version of it that we have in our world seems to be like,
laws.
oh no, I was thinking like college.
Well, that's what I meant. Well, like
College
kind of
or
in a sense.
marriage or...
Well, I was thinking along the sense of.
But I meant like, wait, what do you mean?
I was thinking along the sense that, like, at least in America, right, we have laws that regulate what you can and can't do at a certain age. By 16, you can get your driver's license. By 18, you can vote. By 21, you can drink. And so there are different milestones that age signifies. You are slowly becoming an adult because you can drive, you can vote, you can drink. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but those are arbitrary in many ways, right?
Yeah, because other countries have different laws about like when you can or can't
because it's
drive.
not, because it's not a rite of passage in itself.
College,
turning 21.
though, is a rite of passage.
Unless the rite of passage is some sort of societal thing where you go out with your old man for a beer, right? I mean, I guess that could be.
Well, some people go backpacking across the different countries. Some
Well,
people, like when they reach a certain age, some people do go on like a vacation or a trip with their family or like a loved one or something like that.
Yeah, no, that's true. But there's no like national.
No,
you know what I mean.
No.
And that's what I find interesting. There's no. There's no big thing. I mean,
In the old days, you could just find your local blacksmith and say, "Oh, well, you're his apprentice now. Go learn how to blacksmith."
Oh, exactly. Or time to you shove him into the middle of a forest and say, "Good luck getting out, kid," and then you leave in a helicopter.
Wait, what year is this?
What is it now?
Oh.
No, I'm saying this.
Is that what Elon Musk does to his kids?
This is what we should do. We should shove them out of a helicopter. You think so? What you say is we're going to Yellowstone National Park on vacation, and you fix them with like some kind of like rudimentary like parachute and just say just in case, but nothing bad's going to happen. I'm not wearing one because I'm bigger and won't fall out, but you might. And then when you get up to a certain amount of height, you just literally roundhouse kick them out of the helicopter. And the rite of passage
Why do you have have more bird instincts than human instincts?
What?
Why do you have more bird instincts than
Where
human
you
instincts?
getting this bird stuff from?
Let's just literally kick them out of the nest. Let's kick them out of the helicopter.
Yes. Oh, I wasn't thinking in those terms. I was just thinking what's the most violent thing you can do.
Your most violent thing you could imagine for your kid without killing them
Well,
is
no, the point isn't to kill them. The point is to make them, a savage beast of a human.
So you want an Akira universe, is what you're saying?
Well, maybe, yeah, we just slap some discipline into them. Yeah, that's exactly what I advocate as a respectable human being in Western society. Endless corporal punishment. Yeah, that's it. No, I mean, like some sort of big.
Yeah.
So. Well, look, what I'm saying is...
You're saying that if you were...
You're
saying that if you were Morgana Le Fay and you had a kid like Gawain, you would 100% have done what
give
you
him
did.
Jumanji.
You would have given...
You would have given him Jumanji.
Well, to
yes.
keep it in the film, in the context of the film, you would have summoned... You would have cursed your son and summoned the Green Knight on Christmas to ruin his life.
Kinda. I mean, it reminded me of a what do you call that thing? I don't know, because they didn't actually. Because usually, what you do with this thing is you create the Sandman, and then you you stick the scroll into it. You go whoop, it takes the scroll and then it eats it, and then it has a mission and it comes alive and goes forth like an evil snowman, right? But I mean, in this film, he's not Green doesn't take it as a, like, what am I saying? Like, it's not, or is it? Is it kind of Golem-y or not really? Because I thought he already knew his mission. He just didn't want to talk for some reason.
Not well-known trivia.
What do you mean that's not well-known?
That's not
Everyone
well-known.
knows what the Green Knight is. Everyone knows the Green Knight. Everyone knows everyone knows a story that is closer to the Great Plague of Europe of 1348. And
it is possible
that it is to the.
It is possible. I will be fair that the Green Knight, the film, Laurie's version, is so to the chest. You know what I mean? Like, it takes the idea that I'm making this film for fans of the Green Knight who know the story so to the extreme that if you haven't, you can't enter this film. You know what I mean? Because there are some things that the film does where it's like there were so obscure things that become giant plot points in the film that I had to look up what the hell, this was even talking about. Like, the plot point in the film, what happens is he's in his travels, he gets robbed at some point, and he ends up finding himself at the home of a young woman to sleep for the night, and it reveals that she's a ghost, and that her head has been lopped off. There's a lot of heads...
she's maybe a ghost. Because she's weirdly against saying if she is.
She might be a spirit. She might be like some sort of like specter summoned by the Green Knight as a test of his courage, right? Like, all of the obstacles in the film, it is unclear whether they're actual obstacles or things that the Green Knight or even Morgana, his mom, has summoned into being.
Well, and also remember that I'm pretty sure the entire scene takes place at night, correct?
It does, yeah.
So you could also see it as she isn't even alive.
Yeah.
That she's being projected through his mind.
That's true.
If that makes sense?
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case, but I think it's lending it the film, by setting it completely at night, is lending it this sort of, non-real feeling, right? I mean, the whole film feels very surreal, but,
Would you like to take a gander at where the film gets that scene from? Because the scene is actually based off of the story of, or the legend story of Saint Winifred, who, after a prince, according to legend, I believe in the 8th century, might be the 9th, was approached and tried to, in a very Chaucer-like tale, he tried to force himself upon her, and rather than submit to that, she tried to escape from him, and then he chopped off her head, and a rose grew from where her head fell, and then a spring came forth, and to this day, it's like that site is revered as one of the most, not tourist, that's not the right word, it's when you make a pilgrimage to a holy site. In Wales, I think it's one of the most visited pilgrimage sites in the UK, and you can go to it, you can actually bathe in outside of the medieval structure they've built around it.
So you can't. Can you go diving in it?
No, it's a very shallow bath. It's a very shallow outdoor
Wait,
bath.
it's very shallow.
Well, there's two baths. They have the actual spring that is considered holy inside, and no one's allowed to touch it. And then they built an outdoor bath where you can go and bathe in that.
Is this one of those where they say, in this very sacred site, is what's her name? Winifred?
Winifred, yeah.
Is she a saint?
Yeah, she's a saint.
Is Saint Winifred's head? Really? An actual head's in there, like a skull. Yeah. Can we see it?
I know,
no,
I don't.
No, you can't. You can't touch it. But it's in there.
I don't.
Oh, really? Yeah, really.
I am almost positive that they don't say that the skull is in there. I'm almost 100% certain it's just the site of where her head was and died.
Where'd it go?
Yeah. I don't know. It decomposed.
No, it's in there.
It's somewhere.
It's in there.
Oh, no.
It's definitely in there.
You're turning this into the ring. You're turning this into the ring. And I don't
peeking.
like it. But another fun trivia fact during my research on that was I found out that during the late 1800s...
You view this all as fun research.
Well, I had a lot of fun doing this Wiki guide.
And then,
like,
get this! He chopped her head off!
what a terrible...
After she said no and wouldn't give consent, he chopped her head off!
Are you trying to do a
Crazy.
Pete Davidson stand-up line? What are you doing? You monster.
You're just saying all these are fun facts? Wow.
Okay, some bit of trivia.
You accuse me of being...
During the late 1800s, a mining company in Wales wanted to mine for ore, kind of like in Stardew Valley. You run out of ore, so you have to go back to the mountain and keep
Or
digging.
just like in real life, too.
Or in just real life.
You know, like in SimCity when they build cities? Well, it's kind of like that. But yeah, just... What was... Yeah, like in real life when they build cities. Yeah, like in SimCity. No, like in real life when they build cities.
So you know how in Stardew Valley when you run out of ore and you have to go back and grab some more? That's what happened in Wales during the late 1800s.
Fine. Yeah, iron ore.
It's fine. It is irrelevant. I admit it. It is irrelevant.
It enriches people's understanding.
They basically were trying to like build a tunnel, and they knew that they were going to disrupt the spring of it's called Holyhead. It's called the Holyhead Rail.
I didn't know this was a related story. I thought you just jumped onto another
Oh no!
random story.
It's called the You really messed me up here, dude.
Okay, so finish your story.
Basically, they wanted to build a tunnel that was going to disrupt the spring because it's by a river, right? And that's where the spring gets its water source from. Mm-hmm. And essentially, the tunnel building it made the water all dried up, and it like caused a panic, and everyone was very upset. If you would like to read, let me find the book title. If you would like to read the Parliamentary Debates Authorized Edition, 4th Series, the 5th Session of the 27th Parliament of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland, Edward IV, Chapter 7, Volume 134, comprising the period from the 29th day of April to the 16th day of May 1904, published in 1904, you can read the excerpts of the parliamentary decision in Wales that allowed the mining company to dig and then disrupt a holy site.
Huh.
Good stuff in there, good stuff. Nothing has changed. Reading it,
it's gone?
Oh no, they managed to do another man-made like excavation.
Wait, did the water dry up?
Did
all the water dry up?
It dried
including
up.
the holy site?
I'm not 100% sure
Wait,
about that.
if that's the case, if it dried up, all someone had to do was look in there, just peer in.
Just to peek at yourself for a little bit.
Yeah, just to see if the story's true.
They had to build another tunnel to get the water flow back into that area. So, oops. But what was I saying? Oh, Saint Winifred. Saint Winifred only shows up once in the entirety of the epic poem. It shows up in chapter 9, line 700, with the line, and fared across the ford and foreland of that same over against Holyhead, so that he further came. And basically that line is just saying that he went to the pilgrimage site of St. Winifred, and then he moved on. That's it.
Wait, where did your name appear?
That's
did you
it.
see your name?
It's not. it mentions
Okay.
the place. It only mentions the site Holyhead, which is named after Renifred.
Oh.
So basically, the poem is saying it's a marker. It's a geographic marker, so that for people reading it at that time, could be like, oh, geographically, he's here. He's at the Holyhead pilgrimage site, and then he moves on.
Oh, so this is intended to be a literal religious pilgrimage in many ways,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
Like not simply I have a destination, it happens to be at point B. It's in a certain sense an actual religious pilgrimage, is what you're saying,
Yes.
right?
So the film, though, takes that one random line, not random, but obscure moment, and makes like a 10-minute scene out of it to make it one of the main stopping points for Sir Gawain in that story, which I think is really fascinating. And also kind of shows, one, the devotion, I guess, of the film to this story. And like, clearly David Lowery has been thinking about this story for years and years. But also maybe that why this film isn't loved by a lot of people, because it is so obscure in its referential in how it references and
Well,
like,
and just to be very
tells the
clear,
story.
when we say people didn't like it, people went to it that were not supposed to go to it, and that's why, right?
That's what it feels like. A lot of people were confused by the ending because they don't know that the actual poem, he doesn't get his head chopped off, and that's the point of the story. Is that the point was never about equal retribution. It's not. It's about kind of in the poem sense is kind of understanding that being a good person isn't a one event moment. It's not a one time thing. It's a understanding you're going to make mistakes. You're going to have a ton of chances to make mistakes, but a ton of chances to also do the right thing. And that's kind of where the film also goes in that direction of. In my mind, the film is more about the stays more true to the like lesson, the overall theme of the original poem than the actual plot points of the poem. So if you're watching the film and you love The Green Knight, the poem for the story, you might not like the film because of how much it deviates from the actual plot of the film of the poem, which it's also interesting.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like the film. I honestly, I think it was just the marketing, even the name itself, that misled people. Mm-hmm. I think if you marketed...
Well, if you called it like the Tale of Sir Gawain, it's going to be like this, maybe people are going to know it's pretentious, but at least then they know it going in, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, that's true. Well, there's a reason they named it the Green Knight. Mm-hmm. It's a pun.
Oh, bro, wait.
He's a Green Knight.
Oh, because he's... You just stuck your thumb on me. Are you saying
green
like...
thumb, Green Knight. He's a Green Knight.
I don't know what... I'm a step behind on this. Because he is... because he's green around the edges. Okay, I get it. Never mind. Sorry.
Because he's a rookie.
He's not
actually a knight. He's a Green Knight.
He isn't a knight, yeah, because he doesn't have any tails.
So yeah, the film actually has, Sir Gawain and then you finally hit the word Green Knight. I think at the end of the film, I don't even think it doesn't, right? Isn't that what happens or no? I'm thinking it has to do with fairy tales or stories itself, because there's only unless I'm wrong, there's only one copy of the actual.
Yeah,
story.
I think it's burned.
Is it burned?
I'm pretty sure it's burned because it was in a collection. I think I looked this up because I remember learning about it back when we read The Green Knight, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. That, if memory serves right, somebody had a bunch of old medieval manuscripts in their library, and then that person's library burned down. So a lot of these super sacred texts, at least to historians, are sacred. They are crispy.
I thought, you know what I wanted you to tell me a story of instead? I want you to tell me the terrible story of the nefarious, the nefarious Dr. H. And Dr. H is an arsonist at heart. And he doesn't want to burn something brand. He wants to burn something truly priceless. So he spends years building up his cred in the English department and works his way up to be the preeminent expert of such and such a text. Right?
This is the worst Indiana Jones story I've ever heard in my life.
And he gets to the actual text, and they interview him and say, "We can't just let anyone see this one of a kind codex of this, of this great,
this great and singular work that only, right? He's go, I understand,
So-
you have my word, nothing bad will happen. I'll wear gloves the whole time. And they go into this dark room down, down flights of stairs, down a secret elevator on the side, through the guarded people, into this glass room, right? And he sits down, sweeps the hair back from him,
Puts his glasses on.
puts on his glasses,
But
and then whips out a lighter and sets it on fire. He's like, at the age of like 60, he works up his entire life for this moment just to burn this manuscript.
Well, this is so upsetting. You have no idea how upsetting the idea of that is. Just like there's like one Beowulf manuscript left in existence.
Like he sits down.
There's like,
And there's the Beowulf Codex in front of him. He's like, yes, finally. And he strikes the match and dumps down there.
I don't remember what all the criteria are to be one of the few, like literally, when I say a few, like literally one of the few people in the world who can go see that manuscript is like you have to be fluent in Old English. You have to have enough published, like, a literary analysis on Beowulf. You need to be respected in your, like, community of, like, Beowulf scholars. Like, you know what I mean? It is insane what you have to go through, the hoops you have to go through just to see that one manuscript. And I'm pretty sure you can't actually even look at it for that long.
That's why you gotta be quick with the lighter, man.
So I guess what I'm saying is all this nerdy shit that I'm spewing out and know about kind of says a lot about why I loved The Green Knight and thought it was a beautiful story.
So one thing I wanna just kind of throw out there, which I think is interesting. You probably noticed this too, I presume.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Is that
maybe?
this film goes out of its way to reference other stories.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And of course you get
Well, I mean, I just talked a lot about Winifred.
yes.
Right.
Specifically, I want to mention the two prominent stories about decapitation. Right? You can probably guess them. One is the Green Knight. He gets his head chopped off, and then he, shockingly, gets up, takes his head, puts it back on, and says, "I'll see you in a year. I'll see you in a year, buddy, or a year in a day, or whatever." Right?
Gotta get that like John Wayne voice.
Yeah, and then he rides off like nothing's the matter, right? But in the film, he does something different. Mm-hmm. You remember what it is?
Yeah.
He takes the head. He doesn't put it back on. He just sticks on he just holds it and rides off.
Well,
and that is explicitly.
Surikabad.
It's
Right? Surikabad? Is that what
it's
you're going
Sleepy
for?
Hollow?
Oh, Sleepy Hollow.
The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. There's no question that's what's going on, right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
They go out of their way for that shot. It's hilarious. And we actually did see Sleepy Hollow this year, didn't we?
We did the Johnny Depp version.
Tim Burton Johnny Depp version.
Yeah.
Which of course subverts everything by saying, maybe this is a scientific explanation. Tim Burton version. Oh no, it's a whole witch thing. It's very, very sinister.
It's exactly what you expected. Just witches being witches, I guess.
Witches being witches.
Witches be witchy.
Yeah. If only the witch was his mother. Mrs. Crane!
There were...
Mom!
I'm gonna be honest, there were way too many films I watched this year where there was like an Iron Maiden involved, and that just makes me uncomfortable.
There were a lot of Iron Maidens in the
We watched
films.
Black Death, some like very small film that bombed starring Sean Bean, the Bean himself, and a very young Eddie Redmayne before he was famous.
Yeah.
So
Fun fact about the Black Death, Ben. The book Sir Gawain the Green Knight was actually closer to the Black Death than to the coronavirus of 2019. In fact, closer by a considerable margin,
well,
let me add.
there's gonna be like one person who's gonna appreciate that joke. You know that, right?
Is this because you edited all the material out?
No, I'll keep it.
You should probably edit all my...
I am going to keep it so that people can get the full experience of that round trip joke that was just made.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, what I thought was also interesting about that moment when, at the beginning, when he gets his head chopped off and he rides off Sleepy Hollow style, is that kind of sticking to the theme, though, that one of the main ideas of the film, from the moralistic side of things, is that one of Gawain's main faults that he has to learn about himself is that he always expects people to A, be selfish, and B, expect of him to be selfish, right? He gets, in the film, Sir Gawain gets a letter, or King Arthur reads it. Sorry, it's given to King Arthur, but then Guinevere reads it. And the letter, I think the language of it is such that whatever you give, I will give back to you. And it doesn't actually say anything explicitly about, you have to chop off my head, right? And he then kneels down in front of everyone at the round table, and King Arthur gives Gawain the sword. So it's not even Gawain's idea. And he just kind of looks at the Green Knight and says, "What do you expect me to do?"
He Adams out major. What do you want from me? What do you want from me?
Oh my God, did you make a Lambert reference? The Green Knight then lowers his head. And so I think what's interesting about the language and the way that scene is played out is the idea that Gawain could have just done what the Green Knight does at the very end of the poem, which is lightly nick his neck so that he doesn't even leave a mark, kind of more as a playful thing. Like, Gawain, if he was a better person, could have understood that he didn't need to play a dangerous game. He could have just lightly tapped him with the sword on the shoulder, right? Could have booped him on the nose. And then the Green Knight, a year later, would have just booped him on the nose. You know what I mean? But it's Gawain who makes the decision, I'm going to chop off your head and try to kill you. Which in the poem is not what happens.
We have this old, brilliant text. Let's read it. So the Green Knight comes and boops him on the nose. And he goes on this epic quest of chivalry to boop this guy in the nose. Why did we save this text for hundreds of years? What is the literary value of this
Let's
story?
scratch out boop him, right? He knocked off his head. Boom.
He knocked his head off?
Yeah,
that sounds more epic.
He
yeah,
decapitated him. There.
Yeah, someone rewrite this and just stick it back in the book.
So we have the Sleepy Hollow reference. We have the Winifred reference.
Well, the very last line is...
Off with your head.
Which is very...
Alice in Wonderland.
If I remember correctly, I don't think the Queen actually kills anyone.
In the book or the films?
Well...
In the book itself, I don't
think she actually gets around to killing anyone.
You know Alice in Wonderland better than I do.
I don't think
I
she
wouldn't know.
gets around to killing anyone.
Huh. Now that we see or read about.
If I'm wrong, I'm going to demand this be redacted.
Never.
You don't understand, I'll lose my Wonderland cred.
You won't be let back into Narnia.
I won't be allowed to burn. I won't be allowed to fulfill my mission of burning the original edition of Alice in Wonderland.
I'm pretty sure there's so many. Wait. Original edition, now that's interesting. I have no idea. I was just going to say there's a lot of copies of Alice in Wonderland out
No,
there.
I mean the actual written version. The original.
Okay.
Like the literal manuscript.
Wouldn't it just be with Lewis Carroll's estate?
Probably.
Okay.
I would guess.
Unless a museum somewhere.
I don't know. Yeah. But anyways, the point though is if you view it in those terms, right?
Mm-hmm.
That she doesn't actually get around to killing anyone. That they just kind of keep it from her sight and just kind of ignore the fact.
Oh, that's a good point.
Then it's possible that it's leading you literally to the idea that he isn't going to kill him.
That's true. That is true. And I think,
And there's even the bare bones of it. He says, now off with your head. I mean, that's kind of ripe for different interpretations, you know?
Yeah.
And you know what I'm trying to say, right?
And
Like
if you
said, now off with your ass, right? You say, it's time to get my butt cleaved. It's like, no, it's time
what
to
is that? Oh.
No, if you said, now off with his ass. Like, if you point at someone and said, off with his ass, would they, take out a big axe and, chop his...
Imagine Pulp Fiction and he just points at it and says, off with your ass.
Well, that would be really neat. I'd love it. Yeah.
Maybe this is reading the magic a little bit, but if you actually read interviews that David Lowery has done, he does make it explicitly clear that the idea of the ending is that he is not going to chop off Sir Gawain's head. And part of the visual things that happen that I think are maybe too subtle. You don't know. I think you pointed it out. You said that.
Oh, you talking about
their face, his face. Yeah.
I did not see this at all.
I didn't see it either.
This was pointed out apparently. So maybe this is just some person who wants to say things and convince.
Well,
this
no,
is
because Laurie actually said that. Laurie actually said...
Maybe Lowry's pulling the Emperor's clothes over us.
Laurie said that at the end of the film, when he goes finally to the Green Knight's castle, the ending scene, the Green Knight's
When he's
face
asleep.
when he's sleeping, actually morphs into many different characters. Laurie said that he morphs into Morgana slightly. He morphs into the Lord at some point. He morphs into Arthur. So the idea is that the Green Knight kind of also represents his heritage and his ancestry and like this tradition that he has to uphold.
You know, at the end, you could like see it. Gowan could like see his face like changing and be like full on page master. It was you,
Christopher Lloyd.
It was you the whole time. Yes, my boy. And did you learn?
The film is at once way too subtle and also not subtle enough at times. You know what I mean? Because it's, in my mind, it was super direct about it being this like moralistic fable about a coming of age story. But it seems like
Wait, which one? The film?
yeah, the film.
Yes.
But I do think that maybe that got lost on some audience members, and I hope that maybe we help clear that up a little bit here in our conversation. Do you have any last thoughts, ideas?
Let me see. Let me think.
Crazy theories? Just an appreciation for the fox in the story?
Well, I think it's interesting. I don't know what it means. Is that characters won't speak for a while until they randomly speak. The Green Knight does it. The fox does it.
Oh yeah, they can speak, but they just choose not to speak
Apparently,
ever.
unless there's some point in which either Gawain's mind comes undone and they just start to speak to him, quote, speak to him, right? Like he's just full on hallucinating there on out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or, yeah, they're just, I don't know, waiting to speak, or they're just being obstinate, or it has some meaning, or, I don't know. I have no idea what that's supposed to mean.
Well, as someone who often speaks way too much and overspeaks, I think there is a certain power in restraint that the film is trying to show Sir Gawain, because Sir Gawain's whole thing in my mind is his hastiness at times,
Okay.
where his like inconsideration for others, like he doesn't. In the film, at least, he. I guess you could characterize him as someone who thinks both very highly of himself, but then also thinks very lowly of himself in a way that he... How do I put this? He wants to think of himself as being special, but knows that he hasn't done anything to be deserving of that praise, of that sentiment. And...
He's green.
He's green.
Yeah.
I talked myself into that one. And so part of it is that I feel like wisdom is imparted upon him by the fox, by the Green Knight, by the Lord, by the Lady, by various characters, only when they feel like he has reached a wall in his understanding and like in where he can get himself to. Like they only speak when they realize, or maybe when the audience is supposed to realize, that his understanding of the situation has reached a certain level that he cannot overcome without someone else helping him.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. All right, so to wrap up, because we are definitely over time.
Sorry, here we go. Sorry.
So to wrap up, because we are definitely over time, sorry about that. The Green Knight, I think, is a fantastic film. It's definitely not for everyone, but I think if you are into the kind of story they're saying, you will think it's one of the best films of its kind. I appreciate the use of prosthetics in the film. They use realistic effects. They didn't do a lot of heavy CGI to create the Green Knight and other things. I think the acting is terrific. The cinematography is beautiful. The art direction's wondrous. I think go out and watch this film if you haven't already.
I think, as a word of warning to people, if you see the film named The Green Knight on the digital scroll, and you're like, oh wow, I want a film with with knights jousting and sword fighting.
I watched Last Duel.
Yeah, go watch The Last Duel. There's a duel. There's an actual duel in that film.
I hope.
Yeah, there really is. I saw the trailer. They do some jousting, I think.
Go watch Quest for Camelot.
Oh no, don't do that.
Okay. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.
If we last that long.